it's Leanne from Lovely Scrappin'. I wanted to show you some of my homemade fabric flowers, and a lot of the inspiration for these flowers came from Saw Crafters and my Butterfly Kisses 12 YouTube channel. Those two ladies are amazing at doing fabric flowers, and I was so inspired after watching their videos, so I decided to use some of my leftover fabric, which is all this pink and brown stuff you see here, from my wedding, and I decided to play around with it and try out some flowers, and now I'm so addicted to it. It's so much fun. For this tutorial though, I'm going to show you how I made this organza carnation. I just sort of made it up as I was going and used some techniques from other different types of flowers and sort of combined it into one. And I'm going to show you how to do this. It's so quick and easy, and it looks so cool. So, and you can use all different types of colors to get more of a vintage look. You can use the vintage colors, and you can even add sparkles or whatever in there. So I'll show you how to do that one, but I'll just show you quickly some of the flowers that I did make. These two here were inspired by Arlene. She did an amazing job on these flowers, and I wanted to test out this lollipop flower with some of the satin I had for my wedding. It's a bit thick, this satin, so it didn't quite give me a look, the look I was going for anyway, but it turned out pretty good anyway, and I just put some, this stuff was left over from my wedding. I don't even know what you call this stuff, kind of like fishnet stuff, and some feathers and some, this was actually from a lampshade that I took apart to make my homemade Clip It Up, and I saved it, and it's pretty cool looking. So anyway, and then this one here is again just using some organza ribbon. It's got a little bit of wire in there, and again feathers and some sequin and some of that fishnet stuff for the back, and I just put felt there. This one here was actually leftover fabric from an old curtain that I had hemmed. Pardon me. And it's like the spiral technique. These ones here were inspired by our Saw Crafters, and for this here I just did the spiral technique and then trimmed off the ends along here to make it opened and exposed, and then I just snipped all of those pieces to make it sort of a full sort of a look. So that was kind of neat. I'd probably turn out better if I used a different fabric, but anyway, that was kind of cool. And then this one here was also inspired by Saw. She's amazing. And I can't remember where I saw it, but there was another YouTube channel on this type of a lollipop flower, and it was just using a circle. I'll just show you an example. So you take a circle of fabric, and then you do like a straight stitch all along the edge of it, and then you pull the string, and then the ends come into the center, and you sew in a button, and it's a nice clean back, and it's super super easy to make. This one's a little bit more challenging, where you just have to do a little bit more sewing. I'm not much of a sewer myself, but you have to just sew the ends there to get it to close, and then you have to kind of hide up the back of it. So that's that one. And this one here I was playing around with some organza, again, that I had left over, and just cut some petals, or this was all circle shapes, and I just cut some petals sort of thing, and then burned the edges, and it kind of came out neat too. So, and these are just some leftover fabric. This was actually ribbon, and I just spiraled it. A lot of people do these types of flowers anyway. I just wanted to show you. I thought they were kind of cool too. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to come back and show you how to make this organza carnation. Okay, so some of the things you're going to need to make this organza carnation is some, of course, organza material of your choice. I'm just using, again, leftover fabric for my wedding, so pink and brown. Some scissors, a tea light candle. I like to use this sort of a holder for it, or vase for it, just because it gives you some distance from the flame, and you don't want to go too close to the flame because you're going to burn your fabric and it just won't turn out, it'll just melt way too quickly. A lighter or matches. I just use this pen and a stencil so I can draw a circle on there, and nowhere to cut, and then some tweezers. And of course, because you're using open flame, you want to have a nice bucket of water nearby in case there is a little bit of a disaster happening with your flame. You don't want to burn down your house, so I'm warning you now, have some water or fire extinguisher or something nearby, because you do not want to burn down your house making a organza carnation. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is, for this carnation I did it 18 layers thick, so you can choose however many layers you want, but for the sake of this video I'll just show you the 18 layers. So I already pre-cut, I do 12 layers of the pink because I want a little bit more pink showing in it, and then 6 layers of the brown. So what I do to just quickly, and I did it already with those ones, is I just fold over the fabric. This will make 2 layers, and then I just do it into thirds, and again just making sure it's enough to cut your circle. So do that into thirds. I just lay down my template that I cut with my Cricut. And this is 3.5 inches. You can do whatever size you want. And I just take a white pencil, it'll show up. And it doesn't matter if it's on your fabric because it's going to melt away anyway and you won't even see it. So I'm just going to do a rough estimate here on my circle. And when you're cutting your circle, it really does not need to be perfect because again, you're melting it and you're not even going to be able to tell. So you can see there you have a circle. And just take your scissors and start cutting. There you have it. So now this will be your 6 layers. And again, they're not perfect and it doesn't matter. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so now when you're assembling this, because I like a little bit more of the pink showing for this one, I like to double up my pinks. So you're going to go 2 layers of pink, 1 of brown, 2 of pink, and 1 of brown. And I like to end with the pink on top, so I'm going to throw the brown on the bottom here. So there you have it. You've got your layers stacked up. And now you're going to just throw a brad in there. And I'm just going to grab my brad. So from here, you can take whatever method you want. You can take just a little paper piercer, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of grab the center and just poke through the center there and wiggle it around a bit to get the hole big enough. And then you're just going to take your brad and then just put it in there. Okay, so once your brad's poked through there, you just close up the end and you've got all of your layers there. So you should have the 18 layers. So now from here I just take my scissors and you don't want to go all the way to the brad, but just snip close to it anyway. And I've just done that. So you've got it in half, now into quarters. And you can decide to do however many petals you want. For this carnation, I'd like to have quite a few petals here. I think there'll be 8. So then just each one of these in half. Hope you can see that. Sorry if I'm off camera here. So now from here, you're just going to take your pieces and just give the whole thing a spin. So the petals are sort of all mixed up all over the place. Okay, so now from here, you're just going to get your flame ready here. So I'm just taking my tea light. And this is the fun part. Just find the bottom of it so you kind of know where you're working. So you're going to just start out with doing the top. And so I just kind of, doesn't matter, you don't got to get each petal individually. I just kind of get the top of it there and then I just hold it, about 2 inches or so away from the flame, and you're going to find a hot spot there and you're just going to see the petals just curl and melt. So you have to sort of play with it. It might take a little bit of time to get used to this, but it's pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to start out doing these petals here at the front, and I like them to be a little bit more curled in than the other ones, so I kind of just makes it a little bit more of a tighter center. If they start to stick together when you do that, just kind of take your fingers, pull them apart a little bit, and then take around the sides and start your next sort of a level. Again, I'm not touching it to the flame whatsoever. I'm about 1 inch to 2 inches away, finding that hot spot. So when you get near to the very end, you want to kind of make sure you flatten it out a little bit, because you don't, unless you want it to be a ball, which if you're going to put it on a page or something, you want this end to be a little bit flatter. So if you flatten it like this, find the end, flatten it out, and then start curling the rest, you will have more of a flatter bottom. Otherwise it'll just turn into a big ball because it'll just curl whatever way. And usually if you hold it above the flame, things will curl in. So I'm just going to finish up my ends here. And there is your organza carnation. You can fluff it up a little bit. There you go. I hope you guys liked it. It's super easy once you get used to the melting technique. It goes by super fast. So anyway, I hope you like it. Stay tuned. I think I'll maybe do some more tutorials on a few other things that I've created. So I hope you like it. Take care. Bye now.